He wore a fez.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. The one that played Gimli
Yeah,
on. Yeah, I can't remember his name all of a sudden.
John
John Reese Davies.
Davies. Yeah, he's great in this. I mean, he was great in the first one, but
Let me see here.
I can't think of his character's name right now. But no, like I just thought we were gonna go see like just regular, just. But no, they wouldn't let me pay for it. They bought IMAX. I've never seen a movie in IMAX.
Oh, I saw Dune in Connor made me go see Dune in IMAX, and I was like, it was good. Connor and I saw, was it Return of the Jedi, the first one?
Oh,
We saw that in IMAX.
see, I've seen 3 movies this summer since I've been here, and haven't been able to pay for any of them. Is they see the really cool thing is it's like I came here expecting okay, like I have this much money for like food and expenses and
Oh
everything,
yeah,
but no, like they hardly anybody's let me pay for anything. So
well
I've
that's
been
not a
able,
bad thing.
I've been able to save a lot, and I've gotten to the point now where I'm like, okay, I let them do it, and I thank them a lot. And then, because at first I was like, no, I don't mind paying for myself, I can. And then I'm like, okay, I'm like, I'll let them do it, and I'll thank them for it, and be grateful. And
Can you see that?
yes,
All right. So now if I do this, it stops it. Okay. All right. I'm just trying to figure this out.
oh, did I tell you? I don't know if this is staying on the channel or not, but did I tell you I went on a blind date at the end of last semester?
How'd that go?
It went okay. I mean, I've been on a date with this girl before, so sort of like
That's
first
not
of all,
really a blind date. You knew her.
I knew her, but neither of us knew that it was. So it's like I feel stupid for doing this, but a student made on Instagram FHU blind dating, where you fill out the Google form, and she sets you up with someone else.
Oh, you know what? That's not a bad idea,
So I did it.
especially for the girls because there's not enough guys to date.
Exactly. So it's like I went ahead and I filled that out like at the end of July. I mean, at the end of January. Darn it, end of January, and didn't hear anything besides like the person basically told me, "Look on your own. We don't have many applicants right now. So that match you. So just wait." And then it was like 2 weeks after Lads to Leaders, I get a notification saying, "Hey, would you still want to go on a blind date?" I'm like, sure. And like, I got all ready and I was all dressed up and went to my favorite pizza place in Henderson. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. But I
How
see
many
this
pizza
girl walking.
places are in Henderson?
There's like
One,
one
right?
that's
Yeah.
one that you could actually sit in. Yeah.
Right. Like, your favorite one, the one.
One. The one. Yeah. The one.
Yeah, I know. I was like, wait, how many are in there now?
I say, I don't even know if that one was there when you were there.
Probably wasn't.
I think it's like Amazing Wings and Pizza or something.
Wasn't there?
Yeah. It's pretty good. But it's like,
I think there was
I,
a Pizza Hut and a Perigos. I think it was all we had. I
I
think there
say
was a
there's
Pizza Hut. I never went.
There's a Pizza Hut. I don't think you could sit inside anymore. I used to love when there used to be dine-in Pizza Huts. Those were the best. But what, like I was saying, is like I go in there and it's like I see this girl walking. I'm like, huh? I wonder where Tatum's going. And then I see her walking. I'm like, huh? She's going the same direction as me.
Duh.
And I'm standing there waiting. She goes, "Hey JW." I go, "Oh, hey, how's it going?" And I go to hold the door open for her. She's like, "Are you waiting on a blind date?" I go, "Yeah, I am." I was like, "What do you do?" And she's like, I'm your date." I'm like, "Oh, cool."
Well, there you go. You know what? It's better to go out on a date with somebody you like than somebody you don't.
Yeah, it was just really awkward because one of the first things she mentioned that my roommate this past semester is her ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay, that's interesting." It's like I don't know how to end dates, so we sat there for 2 hours, kind of talking.
Good golly.
I know. And it's like at Besso's, at the coffee shop across the street, there was an event going on, and I kind of wanted to go to that afterwards. So I did for a second. And the dean of students was over at Besso's. So after I walked over there, after I said goodbye to her and everything, and I'm all dressed up, kind of. I'm wearing just like somewhat nice, but casual, like just my suit pants and a vest and my nice hat. And then I go in there, and TJ Kirk, who's now the dean of students, he took over for Wayne Scott. He was like, "Hey," he goes, "JW's coming in here for coffee, but he's gonna leave with a girl."
Uh-oh.
I'm like, ah. And he didn't even know that I just got back from a blind date at that point. I go, "Hey, TJ." He goes, "Why are you so dressed up?" I'm like, "I'll talk to you later, TJ." But everybody turned around when he said JW's all dressed up. I'm
Now,
like,
where are you at now? Like,
I'm
where's
in
where's
Illinois.
your internship?
Champaign, Illinois. Well, Champaign, Urbana area of Illinois.
Was that close to Indianapolis?
Yes.
I thought that wasn't far from that. I thought that was. Is that
So,
where you? Is that how you got there? How'd y'all? Did you drive or what'd you do?
so right now I just have my permit, but the preacher, the one of the elders works in Nashville. He works in Nashville with Healing Hands, and so
Okay.
sometimes but of course he lives here, does most of his work here, so he's used to that travel. And they're like, instead of you wasting money on a plane, how about we just go down to Memphis and get you, and then make it a day out of it. So we did that, and it was fun and everything. And I felt bad at first. I'm thinking, okay, how am I going to get around? But like everybody's been super sweet. Like I do office hours every day pretty much. And it's like they take me to the office, and then we go eat. And then like the family I'm staying with, it's absolutely awesome. The
How big's the
uh,
congregation?
90 people.
Oh, it's decent size then.
Yeah. I mean, give or take 90 people. Like that's how many members, but it's not always 90 people.
Yeah.
So, but it's fun. I mean, I'm enjoying it. And like the week after I the so got here on a Saturday, not the next Sunday, but the Sunday after that, camp started. So
Mm,
immediately got put into camp. I'm like, okay. And
mm.
then got back, and we just really had our first like youth event last week, and I felt bad about that, but with trying to get around everybody's schedules and everything, as we have 5 preteens and 4 high schoolers. So pretty
Okay.
good group. I mean, for a first internship, that's honestly a pretty good group.
No, that's
But
not bad at all.
so it's like, and it's mainly our preteens that do stuff. It's like last Sunday we had our first Devo, and I'm thinking, okay, not that many are going to show up. All 5 of the preteens showed up. They had a good time. We went to a park. We grilled out, had a Devo, played with a frisbee, and then so I'm staying with the one of the elders and his wife. Well, their granddaughter's husband is the preacher, and
Okay.
the preacher's in-laws, mother and father-in-law, live next door, and they have a pool. So they told me if I ever want to throw a pool party for the youth group, I can. So we did that this past Friday. All of the teens were either busy or out of town. So, but all the preteens came except for one of them because he was busy. So I was like, sweet, we all had fun. There's a kid who doesn't do too much, but even she had fun and told me. I was like, so did you enjoy it? She goes, yeah. I didn't want to go at first, but it's like I don't even remember why I didn't want to go because I ended up having a lot of fun. It was awesome. I'm like, good.
Now, did you do we had an intern one time at Great Oaks that they watched movies uh on their with their hammocks in the were you here then? Were you
I
there?
was here then. I was
You're
there
probably
then.
young then though, right? That was because
I
I think Connor was Connor. I don't think Connor was in high school yet. Or maybe he was just in high school.
because we came in when I was 11. So, or I came in because I started going to camp when Don Allen was going through cancer, and then we placed membership in 16 when I was 12. So I think I remember that. I remember a intern doing that. I'm not sure if it's that specific one, but um, well, one of the members here, him and his wife have this huge like movie room in their basement. So next
Oh,
Saturday,
nice.
go over there and watch a movie. I'm trying to do events where it's both middle school and high school, but at the
Yeah.
same, I'm doing split events too because middle school is not always going to want to hang out with high school, vice versa.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, you don't want to feel, if you're a little kid, if you're in middle school, you don't want to feel like a little kid.
Exactly.
Sometimes you want to, yeah. No, I get that.
So it's like this past Friday was supposed to be a mixed event, but none of the teens were able to go. So I'm like, okay, if I mainly work with the middle school, I don't mind because, I mean, all the kids are great. But it's like at camp, the only kids from our church that went were middle schoolers, and they all had fun. And one of them hugged me at the end of the week, and he's like, "I'm gonna miss you this summer." I'm like, "Buddy, I'm the intern at Philo Road." He goes, "Oh yeah, I'll see you all summer."
Now,
And
when
he
is your
walks away.
last, when are you done? Like when,
August 4th
oh,
is
wow.
when I go back. But like, yeah, my last Sunday, I preach the last Sunday in July, and then as I preached last week, because I've been teaching a class every week on Ecclesiastes for teens, and I'm reworking that a little bit just to kind of change the questions up a little bit, because I realize I think they're grasping it, but at the same time, I don't know. Like, I'm just trying to change the questions up. This Ecclesiastes is a good book to study, but
It is, it's a lot to wade through.
it's a lot to go through. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, I need to change some stuff up. I was talking to the youth deacon about that this morning. Um, and I'm like, but I preached last week and I think it went well, but I accidentally skipped half of my notes and preached for 8 minutes. But
Oh,
everybody was like, that was great. All you need to do is look up some more. That happens. I've already been the sermon for the end of July. I've been working on since before I left Memphis. So I'm
wow.
like, oh, sweet. I got that in the bag. Um, but yeah, I've gotten really close to the family I'm staying with, and the youth deacon and his families. He has two kids that are 9 and 11. They've basically adopted me as well, where I've seen two movies with them, and I go out to lunch with them on Sundays. And it's like today, a bunch of
That's
us
cool.
went out to like 9 or 10 of us went out to lunch today, and his wife walked up to me. She was like, "Would you mind sitting with the boys? As we can't fit all 9 of us at the table." I'm like, "Yeah, that's fine." The boys start cheering, and then they were arguing over which side of the booth I was going to sit on. I'm like, "Let me decide, please."
Good to be popular, right?
Yeah, I'm like, "Hey, I'm enjoying it." And it's like I'm glad that they enjoy me and stuff. And one of them was like, "So when do you leave?" He was like, "You leave in August?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh no, you leave in August. Are you ever gonna come back?" I'm like, "More than like, well, you live in Tennessee. How are we gonna see you again?" I'm like, "You'll see me again."
They go to Lads Leaders, right?
No,
Oh,
sadly, they don't do lads leaders in this area much.
that's surprising.
I know. I'm like, that's weird, but yeah. So it's a
Well, you know what? Maybe that's something you can talk them into.
yeah. I feel like they used to do like Bible Bowl just on its own.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that would be neat. Because there's not that many kids, but at the same time, you don't need to do like you don't have to have so many kids for lads leaders.
No, I mean, would you say five? Uh,
Five
did it,
preteens, yeah.
so what do they have coming up after that? Like, do they have a fairly healthy little, like younger?
Mm-mm. There's only one, and he's like 4.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, that'd be kind of, you could maybe, depending on where those kids for the preteens are now, you might be okay for a year or two. But yeah, you got to have some more
yeah,
little, you know what I
because
mean? You got to have some to come.
up.
Yeah.
So yeah, all of them are the youngest in their families, and probably will stay the youngest. So yeah, uh, but but no, I'm really enjoying it. What's Connor doing? Is he's about to be a senior, right, in college?
That's a good question. So he's taking a calculus class, and he's got an A right now, and but he's actually at the beach right now,
Ooh,
and he's got, I think he told me he thinks he has 3 semesters left. So, fall, maybe not this fall, but next fall, maybe he graduates.
Okay, that's not bad.
No, it's like an extra semester. It may be longer than that. I don't know. I don't know that he's 100% sure. They didn't do a great job of guiding him through that because of when, he started during COVID, and that was
Right.
not that was probably not the best way to go, but
Started during COVID, and y'all were moving at the time, so
yeah. But he got it. I mean, he's got his sea legs with it, so I'll give him that.
yeah.
And is working still, so
Now, I'm probably I probably still have another 3.5 years left because, I mean, I think I told you one of my classes I did great in everything except for the tests, but I'm retaking that class this coming semester so I could completely get that off my record and everything,
well,
and
that's
that'll
good.
be fine. So, well, because I wasn't going to take it and I was going to end up, as it was youth and family ministry, one of those classes where everyone's like, oh, it's the easiest class, and then I end up failing it. I'm like, well,
Yeah, don't
so
ever listen when somebody tells you that because it's maybe it was easy for them. It doesn't mean it's easy for everybody.
yeah, and even the professor was like, "Oh, well, everybody else does great in this class. I don't know why you didn't." I'm like, "Dude." So, but it's a different professor now because I wasn't going to take it. I just didn't want to take it again. But
Yeah.
and I was going to take biology as I need to get that out of the way and I need to get math out of the way and then I'll be done with gen ed. But
And you're
my
doing two
advisor,
majors, right?
yeah, I'm doing two majors. And the way that I'm doing it, since I'm doing um I was going to do uh a BA and a BA with but I didn't necessarily want to do Greek. So I'm gonna do BA or BSBA. So and with that adds like 20 something hours. So but I'm already working on chopping those hours down. As next semester I'm doing 19 hours.
Ugh, that's a lot, dude.
But that's counted like my internships counted it on that. And we
Okay.
had something stupid called passage where it's really only supposed to be for freshmen, but but they just add it to everybody's thing. It's just a bunch of stupid assignments that you need to do to figure out what you really want to do. It's really stupid. Evidently, when Don Allen was a student, the first semester there was just a class that you had to go to once a week, similar to that. But I'm like, it's stupid.
Yeah, I think what they used to do, I think if you came in and you were undecided, they kind of, you know what I mean? They guided you to that kind of thing, which is not a bad thing. It's just,
Right. But for people that are decided,
well, I mean, I came in 100% decided, and well, naturally, that's not true. I stuck with what I came in with. But when I started my freshman year, which was at West Virginia, I came in with one major and then changed completely to a different one. Connor did the same thing after, was it 1 year? I mean,
what's his major?
computer science, I think.
Okay. What's Caitlin doing now? Is she graduated?
Yeah, she's in graduate school. She's in Washington D.C. going to PA
Good
school.
grief. I didn't know that. Wow. Did she just graduate or did she graduate last year? I was trying to remember that
She
number
graduated in May.
in May. Okay. I was trying to think the age gap. I was thinking she was 4 years or five. I
Two
couldn't
and a
remember.
half.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
two
couldn't
and a half.
remember how many years older she was than Connor or how many years older than me she was. So,
Yeah, she's 2 and a half. She's 23. So
okay.
she she's got, it's a 2 year program. So she started in April this year. She'll be done in April of, what is that, 2025?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So, not too bad. I
No.
But like I said, like I was just gonna like take some of my gen eds, but my advisor called me like 2 days before. Like he sent me an email. He's like, "Hey, can we talk about your class schedule?" I'm thinking, "Crap, I added too much." Because I added a few things. I'm like, that's not bad. So it's like I called him and he was like, "Hey, we think you should retake. Do you know K Pack? She's the secretary for the Bible department." And he was like, "Me and Miss K were talking. We think you should go ahead and retake youth and family. It's a different professor now. It's no longer Reed Swindle. It's now Ben Coleman, who was the youth minister at Bartlett Woods for a little bit."
Okay.
He was like, "So," he was like, "Would you want to go ahead and take it?" And he goes, "Of course, you could use the testing center and everything." I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "I'll go ahead and retake it." He goes, "And that way." He goes, you could push biology back another semester or
Yeah,
whatever.
what's your other major now?
Bible and communications.
Communication. So what's your plan? What are you thinking?
Preaching, and then I'm wanting to go into some type of broadcasting because
Okay.
this coming semester I'm running the radio station. They asked me to be the student in charge.
Dude, I'm telling you, with your background, doing the interviews that you've done, you seriously ought to. There's guys that are seriously making a good living off of YouTube and Rumble and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I tried to get into it, and I try to make it's just it's difficult to get the start with it. Like, I mean, and I know I have the start with it, but
Just get in and talk about movies and talk about other things, and it'll see what happened. Because what I had in mind, and I apparently this is a common thing. I didn't realize that. I thought everybody came in knowing what they wanted to do. Like this guy says, "Hey, I want to talk about tech," and he gets in there, and that's what he talks about, and he's good to go. But apparently, a lot of people come in and they'll start a channel doing one thing. Like there's just one guy that I got to know. He started out. He wanted to talk about Star Wars, kind of like what we did, right?
yeah,
And he pulled the plug on that fairly quickly. And now he's an ex-military guy, so he's talking. He'll do gun reviews, and he'll do like every now and then he'll do like old toys like from when we
ooh,
were kids, that kind of thing. But he just does little reviews on them, and I'm like, okay. I mean, and he's like, I'm not 100% sure how I want to do this. I just know I want to do it. I'm like, cool. But I mean, look, if you get on there and talk about movies and you talk about um, uh, like there are guys get on there and they'll talk. Well, a lot of it they're talking about movies, comic books, stuff like that.
yeah,
I mean, that's where,
wrestling, like,
yeah. I mean, exactly. I mean, they'll and they're guys that talk about video game, like they throw it all together and they'll just talk about all that stuff. And when they do that, everything else, they kind of like what they end up thinking. It's interesting because there's an old saying that politics is downstream from culture, I think is how it goes. And I was like, what is that? And I thought about that and I was like, if you think about all the things, like look at what doesn't work, what works, and you kind of
right,
get an idea of what you're interested in and what people want to see, right? Yeah.
exactly. And it's like I even thought about starting. Where is it? I haven't thought about starting something about the Muppets because I'm like, I love the Muppets.
You could.
I could, but there's also like there's a lot of stuff on. Like I fell asleep last night. I woke up at like 5, realizing that I didn't turn off any of the lights in the basement that I'm staying in. I'm like, oh, so I woke up, gonna go back to sleep until 6. But I fell asleep watching watching a video about Muppets, about movies that were never made. So I'm like, oh, cool.
There you go.
As there's so many Muppet projects that got abandoned or just didn't see the light of day.
Well, and you start down that road, and then if you go, you know what, I want to do talk about, like there was one guy, all he did was when I first saw his channel, all he did was talk about Star Wars.
Yeah,
And then he threw in some Star Trek. And then he threw in some video game stuff. And then he threw in some wrestling stuff. And then he threw in some movie stuff. And it's like he just kind of picks it all and he gets on there. Like he was streaming last night. He was playing an old Batman game. And
um, yeah.
and he was just talking about other things while he was playing. And I
Did
mean,
you?
I was looking up, there were hundreds of people. I
That's
was like,
insane.
okay.
Did you watch? Well, oh, now, sorry, I'm sidetracking myself. There's a like on TikTok, like one of the biggest things right now is like there's so many live streams on TikTok, and I just like going through them and seeing like what's going on, and it's like a lot of them are like the rating people's profile pictures, and those are like the most popular things.
Oh
I'm
Lord.
like, That's so stupid."
Somebody's watching it or they wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I have the
You know what I
goofiest.
mean?
I honestly, I changed my profile picture to the goofiest photo of me possible, and I just clicked on one. I'm like, rate the photo.
Oh. See, now I could do I wanted to like this particular stream I wanted to do on um Rumble. but
Right.
I can't figure out, and I can't figure out how to put, like, I can get on there. I know how to put me on there, but I don't know how to put both of us on there. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. That's interesting.
so and it's a me problem. It's not a Rumble problem. I'm
Right.
trying to figure out how to use the software.
It's a rod problem.
Yeah, I just really don't know. And I'm like, okay, so that's why I'm kind of playing with this, trying to figure out, like, I need to do I need to do one on I need to do a stream just to see if I can put two people on,
Right.
but
No. Did
uh,
you? Oh, sorry for him. Did you watch The Flash?
I did not. Connor
Okay.
did. Connor loved it.
I thought it was great, and like so, I watched since I've been here. I've watched Across the Spider Verse, The
I
Flash,
didn't see that either. I heard that was really good.
and Indiana Jones, and I'm like, with the first two, it's like the family that I saw both those with. They're like, why do we keep seeing movies about the about like multiverse and like that's and then it's like
Because it's
time
the
travel.
laziest thing to do.
Well, and then it's like even like Indiana Jones mentions time travel. I'm like, wait a minute. So it's like every single movie I've seen this summer is about time travel. I'm like, what's up with that?
It's lazy writing. It's the easiest thing to do. Think about it. If you're using a multiverse kind of a thing or time travel thing, no, you don't have to kill anybody because you can always go back and get them again.
Yeah.
You know, you can make them whatever you want to do and say, oh, he's from another universe.
Well, and it's like even evidently Transformers did that with this newest one where all of the
Oh,
Transformers.
did they? See, I didn't see that either.
I didn't mean to spoil it. I haven't seen it either, but I was watching a podcast and they're like all of them connect now because like this portal opened up. I'm like, what? I'm like, that's so stupid. I'm like, I just don't. I'm like, that's dumb. But
It's getting old.
it is. And well, because it was such a cool idea when Doctor Strange did it last year.
I
And
never saw that.
just in the last year it's gotten so old
And I
and
have no excuse not to see that. I've got Disney Plus until November. I'm canceling it in November. I'm not re-upping Disney Plus.
are you not? Well, now
It's no.
when is it turning into Disney Plus and Hulu?
It may be now. I don't know. I pay for a year, so mine won't change until my subscriptions do. Like they won't. You know what I mean? Like it may
Right.
be that way now. I don't know.
I don't know. Now I did go ahead. So it's like I was paying for. Hold
Bless you.
on.
Bless you.
Thank you. So I do. Of course, I have Spotify Premium, and I'm like, that's the best thing for me because I'm like, I almost gave it up, and I'm like, no, I kind of need that.
Yeah,
So
Connor has it too. He loves it.
well, and it's like I even talked to mom and dad. I'm like, when I was trying to save up during college and stuff, and of course, you know how that is. I'm like, so I'm like, they were like, is there any like expense? I'm like, well, I was like, because I got rid of the premium Zoom because I wasn't using it. I don't need $15 charged to my. I'm like, well, I might just get rid of Spotify. They're like, no, don't get rid of Spotify. So I'm like, well, because they don't use, but and what I did was I have the college discount to
Yeah,
where for a while it was Spotify, Hulu, even though I use mom and dad's Hulu,
Caitlin
and
had that.
Showtime. Well, the Showtime app is no longer a thing because Paramount has it now.
Yeah,
So I'm like, oh, okay. So I went ahead and bought Stars for like $3 because the show that I really want to see is on it. So $3 a month for the first 3 months for the Stars app streaming service.
I
I'm
got
like,
you.
okay. After 3 months, his mom was like, how much is it after the 3 months? I'm like, it's $10 a month. But I said the show that I want to watch, season 2 should be over by the time that 3 months is up. So I'm like, hey, there he goes. So
That's what I
and
got Apple TV until July, some like July, and then I'm going to cancel it. I got the free trial of it. I'm like, if y'all won't leave me alone, fine. I'll sign up for it. I don't care.
mom and dad did the same thing, but then make sure to cancel it like 2 or 3 days before because they went to cancel it the day of and they pulled out. So they have it for another year. And
Yeah,
I'm
that's a
like,
good question. Now I got to figure out when. Now you say that, I got to figure out when that is.
but so it's like, did you watch Ted Lasso? I tried to get into it and I couldn't.
That's not my thing. I've heard nothing but good things, and I keep thinking, should I watch it? And I'm like, I really don't want to watch it.
I love comedy, and I'm like, that guy's hilarious, and it looks good. But then I tried to watch the first episode, and I'm like, she's kind of boring to me. And
Yeah.
like the show Shrinking, it has Harrison Ford and Jason Segel, and I tried watching it, and it's like I fell asleep, and I need to try again because it's by the creators of Scrubs, and it has Harrison Ford and Jason Segel, and it has a good plot. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be great.
Dude, I want to see, like, I think there's Hijacked is one of the shows that I saw, and I'm like, I'm gonna check it out. I'll see if I like it. And then there's another show called, I think it's called The Last Thing He Said or something like that. I was gonna try to watch that, and but other than that, I'm not really like, I haven't seen anything on there that I went, wow.
Well, Don Allen and Hannah are watching. I don't know if you have Paramount Plus,
I
but right
do.
now they're watching Tulsa King with Sylvester Stallone.
I haven't watched that. It's on there. I paid for the year. It was
Yeah,
$50 for the year, and I was like, I can do a year. Let's see if
that's
it's any good.
well, and it's like I want to watch that, and I want to watch Arnold's new show on
Oh, Fubar.
Fubar. It looks
I
hilarious.
watched it.
Was it good?
It was good.
Okay, I need to watch it. I've just seen like the one clip where they're naming candy or something. Oh no, soda. Soda. They're comparing the guy's name to soda. I'm like, okay, this actually looks really good. And
The
it's
other
not
one, the other
stupid.
thing you need to watch, and it's on Paramount Plus. It's called Rabbit Hole.
Ooh.
It's
Oh, I
good.
think I heard about that. I wanted to watch the Grease prequel, but they already took it off of Paramount Plus.
I don't. That's not my thing. There's also what was uh, Amazon Prime. Have, you probably don't. Do you have Amazon Prime?
Yeah.
So Terminal List.
Is that Chris Pratt?
Uh huh.
Okay. It seems like all these like big action stars have a TV show right now.
That's good. And then Jack Reacher. I think it's
Yeah.
just called Reacher. It was good.
Like I
You have to
grew up
look past now. You're gonna have to look past some stuff. You know what I'm saying?
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I never watched Jack Ryan because you said that was just almost where you couldn't look past it.
Oh,
I think was it Jack Ryan that you said that about the boys.
no, it wasn't Jack Ryan. It was The
Boys.
Boys.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
never watched the boys.
Don't watch that. It's not. No, it's messed up. Um, but yeah, Jack Ryan. It was okay. It's the last season of Jack Ryan is on there. 3 seasons. The last season is on now. I've seen the whole thing. It's third season's a little draggy, but it was good.
I'm gonna run to the restroom real fast. I'll be right back.
Okay.
To 15 minutes at the most, and then get back on the road and go. And Autel has products to do that, and I can't wait to make videos with them and test them. I actually think we might even be getting their 240 kilowatt DC fast charger out here for a review. So keep an eye on that. That could be super interesting. I'm excited to share that with you. But honestly, more important than DC charging is what you're going to do every day. The 95% of the time that you spend with your car, you're not going to be going out of your way in your day-to-day routine to plug in and zap up for 10 minutes. Ideally, what you would do is charge at home in your garage, or charge at work, or charge at your school if you're a professor or a student. Charge when you're out shopping at the mall, for example. And Autel has a whole range of products to satisfy that need. So, for example, this is one here for home charging, which is perfect. You can configure this all the way down from 16 amps up to.
I'm back. But no, so like I said, like a few months ago, the blind date went okay. Like I mentioned like 20 minutes ago. But there's a girl that I've kind of been talking to from school a little bit, not really. It's like we Snapchat back and forth, and then it's like I asked her how her day is and stuff, and we talked for a second. Like yesterday, I put a hey, I hope you don't mind that I asked that like every other day. She puts yeah, I just don't. She goes, I don't mind whatsoever. She goes, sorry, I don't respond too quickly as I don't get on the app much. This is perfect opportunity for me to go ahead and say, and I said it. I was like, would you? I was like, okay, I understand. Would you mind like swapping phone numbers so we could like talk and text and stuff? I was like, all I said was like just swapping phone number. She put sure and gave me her phone number.
Well, there you go. Now you got to ask her out.
I mean, when I get back to school, yeah.
Yeah.
If like we
And that needs
still
to be the
talking
first
about
thing you do.
I
Just
mean,
say, hey, let's go out and we'll catch up on what you did this summer.
true. She is going on a mission trip, so this summer.
Get in there fast, get in there hard. Don't bam. Telling you, man.
Yeah. I'm like, well, because it was just random where we just kind of like started Snapchatting back and forth, and then I just yesterday randomly on the way back from the movie, I thought about it. I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead and ask her for her number. Boom. And but yeah, she just put sure, and I was talking to mom and dad telling about this. I'm like, crap, I think I put mom's phone number. So I looked and I made sure that I put my phone number.
How do you not put, how do you do that?
I don't know. I was nervous. So I'm like, did I type mom was like, it's not that similar. I'm like, but it is. I'm like, there's only 3 digits difference.
Now, how long do you have till you graduate?
3.5 years.
Yeah, dude. And now it starts drying up at about a year in, or when you got about a year left, because then all the girls are worried that you're looking to get married. Whereas if you dated them before, you're covered for a while.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, and it's like there's one girl who she's just one of my close friends. Kelly keeps making joke. Well, not necessarily making jokes about it. Kelly thinks she would be perfect for me because she's 5 foot nothing, snarky with me, and makes jokes, and we joke around, and she has nicknames for me, and vice versa. And
Is she pretty?
very beautiful. Most probably one of the prettiest people on campus.
Then why aren't you going out with her?
Because the last time one of her friends asked her out, it didn't go well because the dude moved too quickly and tried kissing her. No, it wasn't me. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. And plus, her dad is one of my main professors.
Oh, well, she got to go out with somebody.
Yeah.
Might as well be you.
And she's about to be a senior. So, but it looks like she's trying to get a job at St. Jude or at a St. Jude or any type of children's hospital, really, for music therapy. So I was talking to her a few weeks ago. I'm like, apply at St. Jude. I'm like, for one thing, you would be closer to me is when I'm in Memphis, and another thing, I was like, you would be great at St. Jude, anyways. And so she's the only person that could, and I think Kelly mentioned this to you when we saw y'all last. She's the only person that could call me Joey, because I hate when people call me Joe or Joey, and I'm like, okay, Joseph, that's fine. Just makes me sound like I'm in trouble. But like I let Caitlin get away with it because mainly I have my own nickname for her, and she doesn't kill me for calling her Gizmo. Because one time she said something about acting like a gremlin. I'm like, oh, Gizmo.
When does she graduate?
Next May.
Yeah, if you're going to go out with her, you better do it soon.
I better do it soon. I know.
You better do it this semester, actually.
We are going to hang out this semester, but I don't know.
Is she not dating anybody else?
Not anymore.
Dude, you might want to ask.
Yeah. Well, and it's weird. It's like we've been close since like the week that I got to school, really. We just randomly met and became really close friends. For a while there, she doesn't do this anymore. But like for like first semester and some of the second semester, she called me little bro, which I'm like, no. I'm thinking in my head, please don't.
Yeah.
But now she doesn't do that.
Well, that's good.
So I'm like, okay, maybe she's thinking that she's no longer doing that. Maybe she's thinking, okay, maybe JW's okay. But I don't know.
Yeah.
But
don't get in a hurry to be put in the friend zone.
She put me in the friend zone very quickly at first, but then I don't know. Who knows? I mean, there is ways out of the friend zone. Look at Don Allen and Hannah.
It's true. It depends on where you're at in the spectrum, right?
True.
I mean, if you're relegated to buddy status forever, then you're stuck. But if you're friend zoned on the front end, doesn't necessarily mean you stay there.
Right. And it's like I can't honestly tell now if she's like flirting or if it's just really her personality. But she's very southern, very like I don't want to say bubbly because that
Where's
makes
she
you sound
from?
stupid. Henderson.
Uh,
Well, she grew up in New Zealand. Her dad was a missionary over there. And actually, next summer, I'm planning on either next summer or the summer after doing a mission trip to New Zealand. As I was talking to her a few weeks ago when they got back, as I talked to her on the phone for like 30 minutes one night, and I'm like, I wanna start doing mission trips and stuff. And I heard her voice. She's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, to New Zealand." And she thought that was the coolest thing. She said, "Is it? I think it would be neat because it's not too much of a culture shock in the way if they speak the same language and the food's similar." So, and plus, I've always wanted to go to New Zealand. So I'm like, that'd be cool. I was talking to mom and dad about that. And mom was like, Mom knows that I've wanted to do missions for a while. She goes, "So New Zealand is because of Caitlin?" Or I'm like, well, that's a good, like, reason. But she's like, if someone else was running the trip, you probably wouldn't go. I'm like, I wouldn't necessarily say that if it wasn't Caitlin's dad running the trip, but that's a good
yeah.
factor in it.
Well, no. What do you? So when you graduate, what do you want to do? Like, where do you want to live somewhere specific, or do you want to do, or like what's your like? What do you want to do? Is it
I
you
want
just
to.
want to be a missionary, or
I thought about that for a little bit, but I don't know. I mean, honestly, what I really want to do at first is just hopefully find a preaching job and then working radio on the side, or even find a small church that doesn't necessarily pay too much and where I just preach on Sunday and Wednesday and then do the communication stuff as well.
take
I'm
a youth
thinking,
job somewhere? Dude, you need to get a job like in Tennessee
yeah,
somewhere
I want to
if you
stay in
want to be
Tennessee.
near. Yeah. I
So,
mean,
because Nashville, honestly, is my.
dude, we have two Church of Christ in Fairview, and it's tiny.
Now, okay, so y'all youth ministers moving?
Oh yeah, he's going to Florida. He's going to be over some. There's a school down there. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like a private school of some kind, and he's going to be. I don't know if he's going to be the dean. I don't know what he's going to do down there, but it's something to do with that.
Well, now, what do you think of the interns? Is
I, look. I'd love to tell you that I met him. I haven't.
okay,
Um, we haven't been going. We've been doing a lot online
okay,
because of Paula's mom.
right.
Like this morning, I was ready. Yeah, I get up every Sunday morning ready to go. No. Okay.
But it's like I know both of the interns. One of them, I'm really close to the girl intern. Like we're good friends, and it's like I'm kind of close to the guy intern. He's the president of my social club. This coming semester, he'll be the president. So technically, I'm also like I don't want to say boss, but he's the person over me since I also have an office. So
Huh.
yeah, next semester is going to be packed for me. And that's going to be the time that I actually meet a girl and start to date because it'll be my busiest semester yet.
Oh yeah. That's how it's going to work.
Yeah, is I have like 16 hours and then plus the job at the radio station and plus do you know Chris Ramey? Was he at Freed at the same time
I
as
do
you?
know Chris Ramey. How do I know him?
He went to he went to Freed. He's the dean over alumni now, and his
Okay, yeah, I know
brother-in-law
his. You know who he's related to?
Richard Crow.
Yeah,
Yeah, but he
I do
so
know him. He's younger than me, but I know who he is. And yeah,
he was also in Sigma Rho,
yeah.
but yeah, I forgive him for that.
Well, he's not really. Yeah, he's not really alpha male when it came to that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. He was pretty quiet.
Judd is stepping down from the communication stuff where he could only focus on photography because he wasn't doing nothing with the radio station.
That does not surprise me. He didn't do anything with it when he was at Freed, so
So,
I wouldn't have necessarily plugged him into that.
but it's like a new professor that's actually over communications has been given that, and we're working together next semester with it. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, but back at making music, Chris Ramey put out an email saying, "Yeah, party on the green." So it's like the thing where when you're waiting for a making music show, the stuff outside in the commons. And he's like, the radio station will be there with music. So I look at it, email Roger Holton, which he's also helps with the radio station, and he's been at Freed for forever. And emailed Judd, and both of them were like, oh, well, yeah, we didn't know anything about this. So, but Judd and the student over it was like, yeah, if you want to go ahead and email him yourself and tell him that you would be willing to do it, go ahead. So I emailed Mr. or Dr. Amy, and I'm like, hey, I'm JW and blah, 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 and I'll bring the equipment out there. Saturday, that day, I was out there for like 9 hours just playing music off of Spotify with the speakers because Judd didn't tell me that I would have to pick the music. I thought it would be the music from the radio station. He was like, oh, wait, yeah, no, just pull up your Spotify.
Okay.
Okay. And he thought it was funny that I had an emergency playlist if the radio station went down. So he's like, it just needs to be semi-clean. You could even play a little rap, whatever. Because just don't like play like Cardi B or anything. He goes, I trust you. I'm like, oh, thank you. So, and then,
Cool.
but Raimi told me how much he loved it and everything. I was like, I'm willing to, any event you need me to. He was like, would you do like Welcome Home and Homecoming? And so I'm now his DJ. So, and that also counts with my work study. So I have that going, and I'm DJing for a car show. As Freed is starting the marketing program at Freed wanted to get a car show going. So this coming October, we're doing a car show, and I'm like, sweet.
Nice.
And then
Telling you, man, you ought to start streaming while you're at school.
I do. I really do. And did I tell you I started a comedy TikTok and Instagram with some of my friends? But the thing is, the other two guys, one of them studying abroad next semester, and the other one graduated. So I'm like, well, I guess the sketch comedy's kind of done. But I just enjoy making stupid videos. And but no, like the live streaming, I think I could do that more. And I feel like my roommate next semester will help me with that some, as we hosted a radio show together. And as my roommate, my first semester, that didn't go well. Roommate this past semester, that was fine. Like we had fun, but he wanted to move to Paul Gray. I did not want to move out of Faro. So I'm like, okay. So I'm rooming with my best friend from school. Both of us have, like, we were both looking for a roommate, and he walked up to me. He's like, I know, I've heard this. He goes, my parents keep telling me don't room with my best friend, that it won't end well. I was like, let's just go ahead and do it. And I was like, if it doesn't work within the first few weeks during free move, we can move or whatever. He goes, or hear me out, our friendship could just implode. I'm like, I'm not letting that happen to another roommate, dude. He's like, okay, true. But
Yeah, it might not be that bad.
I was like, it won't be that bad. But he'll only be there for another year. So he came in with me. He came in with so many credits where he was already a junior.
Oh,
Yeah. He's actually younger than me, too, where he just turned 18. So by the time he graduates, he'll be 18 and then going to law school.
wow. That's kind of
So,
crazy.
yeah.
Good for him, though.
Yeah. I mean, that's great. But I can no longer make the joke of that's illegal or something like that. You know, I just say random crap like that, and then he pulls up some legal website of technically no, the law would be this. I'm like, okay, shut up, dude. Like I understand.
Yeah. No, it's exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, it's but no, this summer's going well, and I'm excited for next semester too. Like I was excited for college when I went, but I was so nervous. And now I'm like, okay, this is probably the most excited I've ever been about anything. Is next semester. And I'm like, I just kind of wish this was the way that I would have been going into my freshman year instead of going into my sophomore year. But
Well, you didn't know what you didn't know.
right, exactly.
Right. Now you're staying in the same dorm you're in, right?
Yep, same exact dorm.
See, that's good.
So same exact dorm, and as I almost moved to Paul Gray, but I'm like, I don't necessarily want to because I didn't want to leave the dorm mom because she really helped me when Uncle Don passed away, and the RA is good and everything. So I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead and stay in Faro at least until Isaiah graduates, my roommate, and I'm like, I might move to Paul Gray by then. Who knows? And then eventually, my senior year, I can move to Priv if I really want to. But
Where's that at?
Priv,
Oh, private honing. Oh,
yeah.
yeah, I got you.
I'm like, but do I necessarily want to do that?
Well, if you got you know what? If you got a girlfriend by then,
Yeah,
and you're seeing the end of the tunnel, maybe that's what you want to do. You know?
exactly. So it's now Don Allen never did Priv, but also since he would have more than likely, but since cancer messed up how long he was there and everything, by his senior year he was already married. But
Yeah.
so
Well, what do you think about what now? Where do you want? So you want to live here in Nashville?
hmm
You ought to start putting in for. Have you checked? Like this is me not knowing. How do you know? Like, do you have a list of congregations, or how do they do that?
so what it is usually they send out emails of like here's internships and this and this, and as I get older I'm like I'm not older, but as I get like farther into college, I'll get like Jerry Elder, his congregation will reach out to people instead of putting something out there. They reach out to people and have them interview. Like that's what Great Oaks does. Like they hear about someone and they'll reach out. They won't put up a thing of you sign up and then do an interview. Like that's what this was. Where I did a Zoom interview. I did 3 Zoom interviews the same day, and then this was the last one. And I just had to do it in the Paul Gray hallways. It was the week of finals, my first semester. I did not want to go back to my dorm. I did not. The library was full, so I'm like, well, this is my last resort to do it in here. So I was sitting. I remember exactly where I was sitting, second floor against the wall on the floor, or maybe I was in a chair. One of my friends walks by as I'm doing the interview, and he goes, "Hey, what's up, Pimp Daddy?" I'm like, "Well, there goes this job." And then
Now,
both
how many? And that was you. You interviewed for what? Three different ones.
that day, I interviewed altogether. I interviewed for like 12 different
Wow.
ones.
So how many callbacks did you get?
2, 3. Well, okay. So one of them, they were going to go ahead and offer it to me, but they couldn't because they were going to offer it to me before Thanksgiving, but then they had to push back because they couldn't really offer anything until January.
Where were
And
they at? Where were these all at? Like, were
that
you
one was in Lebanon, Tennessee.
okay?
And then one was in Houston to where they were going to call me, and I feel like they were probably going to offer it to me, but I went ahead and turned that down for this one. This one just seemed really good, and my interview went well and everything. And plus, I really didn't want to be. I wanted to see what it was like not being in the South.
Well, you get a chance to go to like a Lebanon, like that would be that would be a good opportunity because again, you think the place you do your internship, I would think would put you in a position later on down the road. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
and it's like, well, with I even tried out for y'all's church.
Okay, yeah, there you go. I mean, exactly. So, like the Lebanon job, that probably would have been a pretty good job
Uh,
actually,
Probably, but I'm like,
and
this
plus it's
one,
here. So,
yeah, like, and this one's pretty good. I mean, I don't talk about money, but you're right. So it like 3,000 for the whole summer for this job right here. I'm like, oh, sweet.
okay.
And I'm being able to save most of that, if not all of that, because I haven't been able to like,
And it's not really about the money. I mean, I know you feel like it, but it's really about getting your face in front of the right people.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, I don't necessarily care about the money, but at the same time, that'll help me save up for the future and save up for college, and then eventually some internship will help me save up for a ring eventually.
Yeah, we can get in a big hurry for that one.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not in a hurry for that one, but still, I'm like, eventually. But no, and well, I'm wanting to go ahead and I think I need to do a communications internship eventually. I don't know what that necessarily requires.
I when I did mine with the March of Dimes in
Oh,
Memphis
were
in the
you a
summertime.
communications major?
Was.
Oh, but what? I'm sorry for interrupting. What did you do it with?
I did it with the March of Dimes.
What's that?
It's a children birth defects thing. Been years. I don't even know if they're still. I'm sure they're still around. But the March of Dimes was a big deal back in the day. It was a good internship. I enjoyed it. It didn't pay anything. I
See,
did it. I did it along with I was working full time, and then I would leave there. I'd work from 8 to 4 at the internship Monday through Friday. And then at 4 o'clock, I would leave there and go straight to work. And I'd work there until I was working at a water park.
That's
And,
awesome.
and then I worked there until closing, which was usually 9 o'clock. And I did that for 5 days. And then I worked over the weekends.
I mean, I feel like for me, since I'm wanting to go more into the broadcasting side of communications, it would be good, like the gospel broadcasting network or even like a radio station or something. I went ahead and before when I was just applying for whatever I could before I got this one, I applied for a Spotify internship because they have an internship for communications majors where you coordinate playlists, and I'm like, oh, I do that anyways.
Well, and again, you're going to get credit. Think about this. So let's say you get a YouTube channel, a Rumble channel, whatever, and you get on there and you get a pretty good following. Not only are you going to get that ad revenue from that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's actually something. So you're going to get credit for that on your resume. People are going.
Yeah,
You're going to go, look, I'm a YouTube creator or a
yeah.
Rumble creator, or
I
however you want to
put
say it.
I put
So
my podcast on there,
yeah,
and then
and
people look it up and they're like, oh, you've had 100 episodes and 60 guests. So I'm like, yeah,
now do you do? Did you do yours video? Did you do a video podcast?
I have all the videos pretty much because I just started recording them over Zoom,
Good.
but I just uploaded the audio, and I need to go through and upload a bunch more. As I haven't been able to really upload much since January. I feel bad about that, but of course, school got in the way and
Well, you
everything.
ought to do. There's a lot. That's a big thing I'm seeing now is people doing a video podcasts. So like what we're doing right now, they would record their podcast and then they upload the audio to the podcast app, but they keep this. You know what I mean? Like,
That would actually be really good.
yeah. I mean, then you get a twofer.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the bad thing about podcasts. It's so saturated, oversaturated.
It is. That's why the video part. That's why it's good that you'd have the video part because you'd have that to plug in on your, you know what I mean, for extra stuff on your
Yeah,
YouTube channel. Every now and then throw a short, like I know YouTube's big on shorts. Every now and then throw a minute video on, I don't
that
know,
TikTok
whatever. Yeah.
reels and
So, I
all.
mean, there's a lot of, I think it's a stream of revenue that's going to keep growing because I don't see people don't. I mean, think about how much you guys watch. Like I watch you. Yeah, I'm on the Rumble, YouTube, Twitter video. I do that stuff, but
Right.
Connor and Caitlin do it more. You do it more. Your age is going to keep. That's just going to keep growing.
Yeah.
Where now, whether it's going to always be YouTube or it's always going to be Rumble or it's always going to be Twitter, don't know. But you start somewhere and then you work your way up and then you start adding. Like if you do a video on YouTube, for instance, like this particular one will be on Rumble tomorrow.
Oh, sweet.
So, but it's on YouTube today. So you kind of, until I figure out how to live stream on there with more than one person, this is the next best thing.
Yeah, I like this format and everything. But do you know Gamom's moving to Memphis? Did mom and dad tell you?
Yeah. Now, are you getting her truck? Did I hear that right?
Yes.
Now, your dad said it was an older truck. What is it?
It's a 2003 Chevy Silverado.
Okay.
Real nice. And Gamom's not letting me pay her anything for it, of course.
Nice.
But she got tires for it, windshield wipers, knew everything pretty much. So I'm like, oh, cool. The only thing that doesn't work is the radio. But I'm like, I'll get a radio, and she's like, well, I could. I was like, no, that's something that I want to. I was like, Dad found a good one that I was like, oh, I've saved up a little bit of money, and I'll put that in there. And
Dude, if you get like what I did for my car, for my Highlander, I went to Best Buy and I got the cheapest Apple radio that had Apple CarPlay on it.
yeah,
And I think it was like $200.
That's not bad at all. Dad's
No.
wanting me to find one with a backup cam.
Now you can add a backup cam in there. It's an extra. I want to say it's an extra $100.
That's not bad.
No, Connor was not happy with me for not adding a backup camera to his. I said, dude, your car's tiny. You don't need one. But for a truck, it's a different animal. But they'll because the guy asked me whenever I took Connor's in, he says, you want a backup camera for this thing? And I'm like, no. And it's like, and Connor's like, I wish you would have done a backup camera. I'm like, yeah, I get it. But I already had a backup camera on the Highlander. So when I got that one, because I paid about $200 for his too. But when he's got Connor's is a Pioneer and mine's a Sony.
Yeah.
And his is more advanced than mine, but mine does what I need it to do. I just need to plug it in and get CarPlay. That's all I care about.
Yeah. But I'm like, as long as I have CarPlay or an aux cord or something, I'll be fine. But yeah, I listen to the radio, but.
Well, in the Best Buy in Memphis is like none of the Best Buys in Nashville put in radios. You can buy them there, but you can't put them. They won't put them in. Whereas if you go to Best Buy in Memphis, that's where I got mine. That's where I got Connor's. They'll put it in. They'll have it in a day.
I'd say either that or, I mean, in Dad's white car, we put a radio in there, so Dad and I could do it. But at the same time,
there's a lot. Well, you got to run the problem isn't putting the radio in. The problem is you got a microphone that's attached to that. So the microphone has got to run behind the dash up along the strip that goes up on the left side of your windshield.
Yeah.
And that's where they put the microphone, up at the top of that. So I mean, you could do it. It's just more labor intensive than you probably want to put into it. Yeah. And a lot of times Best Buy has, if you buy a certain radio, you get basically free installation or it's discounted installation anyway.
That's not bad. I'm like, and with everything going on right now, I'm like, I don't know if Dad necessarily, for one thing,
does he have the bandwidth for that? Yeah, exactly.
But I don't know. He'll make time for it. He's very much like you on this. He'll make time for it, but at the same time, he doesn't necessarily need to do that right now.
Yeah. Yeah, that might be if you've saved some money and you got it, just set it aside and just get on Best Buy. Well, here, let me see what Best Buy. Let me take a quick look over and see what they got. All right, let's see.
But the current plan is for her to be moved by the end of this month.
That'll be nice.
So,
is everybody excited or less than excited?
Everybody's really excited. What we're not excited about is just the fact of getting the rest of that crap out of her house.
You know what? This is the one I got, actually.
So, Dad went down there a few weeks ago, and a lot of it's like, it's where now just like needs to go in boxes, I think. But, ooh, that's pretty. That's nice.
That's the one I got.
How much?
$269.
Oh, that's not bad.
And they have an open box for $256, which I'd buy an open box radio. That doesn't bother me at all. They didn't have that whenever I was looking, but that's, obviously prices went up since I bought mine, but they didn't go up that's not that bad. And then I didn't get the protection plan because I'm not doing that. And what is, yeah, it doesn't tell you what the installation is, but whatever they're charging for installation now. But yeah, I mean, and they've got other radios that are probably better. I just got that one because it was, like I said, it was cheap. They're bigger screen. That screen's, because they, there's a piece. There's a, for your dash here. Let me show you. For this, see this piece right here around the radio, that plastic that's on your dash.
Yeah.
You have to buy an insert to like every car's got a thing that fits. And so they make a plastic piece, like the Highlander, for instance, they make a plastic piece to cover up. You've been in your sister's car. It's where the dials are.
Yeah.
So that
Yes.
it's basically it's a plug for the hole, so you're not driving around with a couple of holes in your dash. But yeah,
That's good that you remembered that she has a Highlander because I didn't think about that.
but yeah, I mean, dude, I like my Highlander. Everybody laughs at me because I'm driving an old car, but I don't care. I like it.
I mean,
It
I'm
ain't cheap,
excited
but
for the truck, but I know gas is going to be outrageous, but at the same time, like, just as bad as anything else right now.
yeah, no, it's gas is gas. I mean, there's always going to be just be mindful when you're driving, right? Just don't drive if you don't need to.
Exactly.
That's a hard thing to do when you've got a driver's license. I'll just tell you.
Right. That's what I've heard. But also in Henderson, I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah. So,
yeah, you're going to want to go everywhere.
yeah, I'm like, oh, Jackson, or ooh, Nashville's 3 hours away, or ooh, this, or yeah. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, no, it's funny, but yeah, no, I like I said, I like my little radio, and now it's only a 6-inch screen, and I know these, cars that you buy nowadays have 8, 10, 12-inch screens, but I don't have that. So,
Now, yeah, my roommate next semester doesn't he doesn't drive either right now. So he grew up in New York City, so he didn't
oh
need
wow,
to drive anywhere. So he's getting his license, doesn't have a car yet. So I know he'll have me drive him around places because as soon as I get back to Memphis, I plan on getting my license. Because my thing is just getting my confidence up a little bit more, and I'll be fine. As I know what to do, I know the
yeah,
pedals, I know everything. Just getting my confidence up a little bit, and I'll be fine on the road. And I
well,
know confidence is the biggest thing, but still.
well, just don't be afraid to tell him no when he wants to go. So, hey, let's go here, let's go there.
Yeah,
Sometimes
no,
it's you know what I mean. It's okay to say no, we're not doing that right now,
right, exactly. Even though I would probably be the one who'd be
unless
like,
he's going to
ooh,
throw some money at you for gas.
which he probably would, to be honest.
I hope so, because that's what's going to hurt.
Yeah, but honestly, I would probably be the one telling him, ooh, I'll take you this place if we go here.
Yeah. Say, I'm flying if you're buying, buddy.
Yeah, like, but no, I'm excited. I really am, and but but no, I think having a truck's gonna be nice, gonna be good. Gamum has one rule: I can't have anybody ride in the very back in the bed. I'm like, okay.
But you can't do that anyway. It's illegal.
I'm like, even though we did that last year,
We did it when
uh,
I was growing up. But yeah,
we
you
we
can't do it now.
we did it through Henderson coming back from intramural games and stuff.
Yeah, you don't want to do that because especially with you don't want anybody falling out of the back. You wouldn't even think about it whenever I was a kid. But yeah.
Purvis, one time I heard or I saw or someone saw Purvis, yelled Purvis. I jump. I was already sitting down, but I laid down in the back of the truck of one of my friend's trucks, laid on a rake. I'm like, I'm never doing that again. Hurt my ribs. I'm like, ow. They're
Yeah,
like,
that's a
yeah,
life
never
lesson.
mind. They're like, that wasn't Purvis. I'm like, ow. But
There's a
yeah,
life lesson right there. Yeah, don't
yeah.
do that.
So I'm like, I'm not doing that again. But I've ridden in people's trunks before to like Wendy's, since there's a Wendy's in Henderson now. But I'm like, I'm smarter than that.
Yeah, don't do that.
And plus, the truck, I could technically, 6 people could technically. I don't want to drive with that much at first.
Is it a
Technically,
four
six.
door?
Well, kind of. It's the suicide doors.
Oh, okay. Like
So
it's what we call an extra cab.
yeah, extra cab.
So
I keep forgetting that
you can
it's
fit
called.
3 people back there.
Yeah, you can fit 3 people back there, 3 people in the front. Technically, 3 people in the front. As
Yeah.
you could make it into a third seat. It's just going to be really uncomfortable for that person.
There is that, right? As long as you got a seatbelt for everybody, right?
Right. Yeah, there's a seatbelt for everyone.
That's all that matters.
So I'm like, okay, the smallest person has to go in the middle in the front.
Yeah, you need to hurry up and get your license in. You need to
Yes,
practice with that thing.
I'm so excited. But she's either going to be in Memphis by the end of this month, or as she realized a few weeks ago, or before I say a few weeks ago, it was over a month ago, it was before I left. She realized that if August probably won't work because I get back on the 4th or 5th of August, and then I go to school on the 18th. She's like, well, you need to spend time with your parents. I'm like, yeah, but So July right now is the end of July is the target date of her moving. And like basically mom and dad are gonna go down there, help her finish stuff and then sell the house with her.
Nice.
So as when Don Allen's been down there and helped her pack up a lot. Dad helped her pack up a lot. Some ladies from church they're helping her pack up a lot. And right now, I think sometimes when I talk to her, she's like, okay, she doesn't want to get rid of a lot. And then other times she's like, I just want to throw it all away and be with y'all. I'm like,
I get that.
yeah.
Sometimes I just want to throw all my stuff away too.
I'm like, I get that. So she's trying to figure out what to keep, what to give away. And it's like she gave me most of Uncle Don's Western shirts when we were there. I'm actually wearing one of them right now.
Well, there you go.
I don't want to wear long sleeves. So I'm like, oh, this is okay for church. And like here's like the first Sunday I was here, I didn't bring a suit jacket, but it's like I wore my suit pants and my really nice shirt. And then I realized, okay, it's like a mix of like jeans and suit pants. So I've never worn my jeans here on a Sunday morning. Like, yeah, I do that at Great Oaks. But I'm like, next Sunday I might do that. So
The problem with jeans is when you get this kind of heat, they're just uncomfortable.
they're so uncomfortable. It's like we've been in a drought of no rain for I've been here for 5 weeks now. 3 weeks before that is when they got rain. So
By the way, your mom and dad have electricity?
What?
Does your mom and dad have electricity?
Yeah, they have electricity
Okay,
now.
good.
And we have electricity here too. Because a few days after they got their bad storm, our drought ended here, where we got a bad storm. We were at this place called Portillo's. It's this awesome hot dog place. Has some like chocolate cake shakes where literally they put a piece of chocolate cake in the blender and blend it up. And so I was there with the preacher and his wife, and we were just talking and everything. And this huge storm rolls in as we're ordering. So we stay there for like an hour and a half and then get back to the building. The next day is when I had the pool party planned. So I'm like, well, that might not work. But it ended up working. Just there's a lot of farmland around here and stuff. So the couple that I'm staying with, they both grew up on farms and they've done farm work and everything. And he's actually about to go to Kenya on Thursday and do some help them. And he does like caring for Kenya and healing hands and stuff like that. So, but Friday morning, we got up and moved trees and did everything and moved the branches in their daughter's yard. And so we could have the pool party and everything. And Friday evening, the weather was perfect. And yesterday, when I went to the movie with the neighbors, with Tim and Carrie and their daughter Grace, I was like, I don't mind paying for my own ticket. She's like, no, you cleaned up for like an hour and a half. You cleaned up that tree that fell, so this is actually paying you. I'm like, oh, thank you.
Nice.
I'm like, it was fun. Tim looked at me. He goes, you don't have to say it was fun.
Yeah, that doesn't. Yeah, ain't nobody buying that.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. Like, I'm like, well, okay. I somewhat enjoyed it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, okay. I helped move branches and spend time with Carl, which was cool. But at the same time, we all together in the last 3 days, we've done 11 truckloads of branches and stuff. 3 different houses, but still.
At least you're staying busy, right?
Yeah, I'm like staying busy, and I'm trying to do 40 hours of. At first, it was 40 hours of office hours since we weren't doing any youth events, but now it's like last week I counted up since we did 2 youth events. I'm like, well, that's 3 hours. That's 2 hours. So like technically, if I want to, as I do more youth events, I could only do like 30 hours of office hours if I want to. But you know me, I'll probably still go into the office every day, no matter what, except for I decided Friday and Saturday were probably the best days for. I still do work here and I still do what I need to, but I'm like, I'm not necessarily needed on the office, especially on Saturday since no one else is up there.
Yeah, that's usually a day when everybody does stuff with their friends and their families.
Yeah, I'm like, Friday, not many people are up here. Elaine, the secretary, is up there for a few minutes, but I'm like, besides that, there's no need for me to be at the church building on a Friday. So
yeah, no, exactly. All right, dude. Well, look, behave yourself.
Thank you. You too. I'm probably gonna take a short nap here before is we're having a cookout tonight, and then Tuesday, 4th of July, I'm hanging out with the youth deacon and his family, because I think the family I'm staying with, I think they're meeting other families somewhere. So this morning, Alan asked me, he's like, "You busy Tuesday?" I'm like, "Nope." He goes, "Awesome." He goes, "You could come over to the house and we'll barbecue a little bit, then probably go watch a movie." I'm like, "Sounds good to me."
There you go. Exactly. Nice.
I kind of want to see the new Wes Anderson movie a little bit.
Connor went and saw that.
What
He
did
said
he
it was
think?
good. He said
Okay.
it was good.
I watched French Dispatch when that came out, and I just did not like it at all. So
No, he thought it was good. He's like, he had to go to Opera Mills to see it, but yeah. See, if you'd have taken the job in Lebanon, you'd have been right there at the mall.
exactly. But no,